What is the least favorite part of your day?
I don't know. I don't know if I have a least favorite. I mean, it exists. It mathematically exists, but I can't pinpoint it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. What is the least favorite part of your day?
Going through email.
The first 4 hours of your day, you mean?
I hate it. Yeah, I hate it. It's terrible. I find it so tedious.
Oh.
Yeah, and I used to be better at it, but like, also that would take all day. So to like speed up the time, I just try and get through it. And it's one of those things. It's like if you like cut off a head and like 3 heads, grow back. Like sometimes you don't want to respond because that's just gonna mean more emails come back in response. Like just trying to like keep moving on. Like maybe I don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely the most tedious part.
Yeah. And what is the least favorite part?
It's at the end of a long stretch of meetings. I do get tired. It is often before the lunch break or at the end of the day before dinner. At that point, I commonly have been through 4 or 5 or 6 back-to-back meetings. And you know how there are these studies that show that judges become harsher before lunch, and if you are going to have your case heard before a judge, you really want to have it heard after lunch rather than before lunch, because the judge is going to be more lenient after lunch. So I do feel, I don't think I get harsher, although maybe I do, but I do get less fresh. I feel like I am more tired. My bet would be that my ideas are less good, at an 11 a.m. or a noon meeting than at an 8 a.m. Meeting. And it's really not fair, right? It's not fair towards the people I work with. It's not fair towards the people I meet with. I hope the effect is not severe. But I certainly start feeling pretty tired, and that is my least favorite part.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's an interesting point about it not being fair, because these meetings are often recurring, right? So it's probably the same set of people who always catch you right before lunch or right after lunch. And so it might be interesting to just randomly shuffle it around a little bit every other week or something. That's interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's an argument against regular weekly slots, actually.
Yeah. Makes sense. What is the least favorite part of your day?
I think the morning, waking up. I love the mornings, but I love the mornings in the weekends. Then it's fantastic. But I always this feeling that you wake up and, oh no, it's just another day of work. But I don't think I have a part of the day that is really not my favorite. Like I really hate it. Even waking up is okay. I mean.
Yeah. What is the least favorite part of your day?
My least favorite, getting out of bed if I haven't slept enough. I hate that.
Yeah.
I really hate that. Like if the alarm, I like waking up by myself, but if it's the alarm that wakes me up, I hate it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to.
Yeah. And what is the least favorite part of your day?
The least favorite part of the day is, I think that in any job, there are lots of very boring things which need to be done. So in academia, these include, writing zillions of letters, evaluating people. But this is a part of the job. It's one of your duties where you have to do this. I think other bureaucratic steps are, filing for reimbursements or things like that. So there are very bureaucratic parts of one's life which one has to do. And I once read this book from a university president, and his perspective was that when you take up a job, don't just judge it by the fun parts of the job, because there are the fun parts of the job, and this is obviously what you emphasize when you decide, oh, I want to make a career in X. But you should also look at the dull parts of the job and the boring parts of the job, and then ask the question, are you able to do them? Okay. And if you really, really can't stand doing them, then you really should not be in that line.
Interesting. And what is the least favorite part of your day?
The dishes. Oh my God, I hate the dishes. I am so sick of the dishes. And it's worse now because the kids come back from school with like their lunch, plates and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's annoying. Yeah, definitely dishes.
I see. Yeah. My next question was going to be, what one chore do you dislike the most? But I think I have the answer to that.
Yes.
Yeah. And what is the least favorite part of your day?
The least favorite part of my day, I find like the morning routine with like 6 of us in the house is pretty hectic, I think. And, everyone needs something and not enough time and enough mothers in the house for all the needs. So it's not always our best time together. Evenings are usually better. We sit down, have dinner, it's good. But the morning, it's a little rushed, and often they leave and I'm like, wow, that should have gone better than it did. But
Yeah.
there's another day the next day to try again.
Yeah. And what is the least favorite part?
Trying to think of a good diplomatic answer to that question. I guess, there's a lot of stuff that you find you have to do that is necessary. It's necessary because people's careers hinge on it. But it's tired, it's exhausting, it takes a lot of energy. So, this is going to sound really horrible because I do want people to apply to be PhD students with me, but waiting through huge numbers of applications for grad school or really any role that you come to work with me in, there are a lot of people who apply these days because people are very excited about AI, machine learning, NLP. And so for anybody who joins my group, I probably read, dozens of applications of others. And it's not that any one of them is bad, but they're exhausting, right? You spend a lot of energy trying. I guess it's not actually reading the applications because it's fun to hear what people have done and what they want to do. I think it's more the energy that goes into constantly assessing people and trying to make judgments, right? Like when I got into the field, it was all learning about the ideas and understanding technologies and techniques and math and human language and all, like the science, right? And then you find out that eventually it becomes your job to spend as much time, if not more, evaluating the people and the contributions you think they can make there. And it's necessary, right? We have to do this, but it's tiring and it's hard. And I don't feel competent in this. I mean, I feel competent in the sense that I'm proud of the people that I've worked with, but I don't feel like I have any particular better insight than anybody else. And it all feels very random. At the end of the day. So I don't feel like I'm participating in a fair process. I've said many times, I wish we could add randomness into these more, true randomness, like fair randomness, where we say, okay, this is the pool of people who are qualified for this thing, and we're going to give them all an equal chance, and we're going to draw randomly. Nobody wants to do that for faculty hiring, for PhD students, for interns, for anything. But I wonder if it wouldn't be better in some ways. I'm not seriously advocating for that, at least not at this point. But But yeah, I don't love that. I don't like evaluating people. I'd rather work with people, right, to help them become stronger and make good contributions than spend my time judging them, which is what it feels like.
Yeah. Makes sense. And what is the least favorite part of your day?
If I have a stretch of like 3 hours of meetings in a row, each half hour long. That's very hard. So yeah, that's my least favorite.
Yeah. And what is the least favorite part?
I think it's related to the previous answer. It varies again. So if I'm having headache, then if it is a meeting that's not very relevant to what I'm doing, but if it is a meeting that sort of like I'm obliged to join, or even if I'm not, like I just feel like I should join, but there isn't a lot of interesting thing going on, then I don't enjoy that because I'm having pain and I don't enjoy the conversation. So that sometimes can become like the least favorite part of the day. Yeah, and if it is like any admin kind of work that I need to do, especially like with my, I'm supposed to like move to Montreal and start a faculty position recently. So there's a lot of like visa related issues and things like that. So if it is any that kind of work, then I don't like that.
Yeah. Makes sense. And what is the least favorite part of your day?
My least favorite is answering emails that require response, but aren't necessarily require a response from me, right? So they're emails that I can answer, but there are 10 other people can answer them.
Yeah.
But because it came to me, it's like I can either forward it, but that sometimes takes as much time as just answering. And so those are my least favorite because they take time, but I don't think that they're as valuable use of time as they could be.
Yeah. What is your least favorite part?
My least favorite part is when I have way too many meetings, to the point, like today, it's interesting, like today I had back-to-back meetings, but I don't feel super exhausted. But like sometimes, especially when you have back-to-back meetings in the age of COVID, where we're all the time kind of just in front of the computer, I can feel so exhausted at the end of it. Like my eyes hurt. I can't be in front of the screen anymore. My voice hurts. I feel like I've been talking all the time. I don't really know. So like when I look at my day and then it's going to be like, oh my God, 8 to like 5 or 20 meetings. It's not great. But the thing is, I prefer to have some days like that. And then because it's hard for me to get anything done in between like 20 minutes and stuff anyway. So like might as well have a 30-minute meeting, at that time. I'm not as good. I mean, I try to, or like the days when all I do is spend just answering email. And so for the last 3 hours, 4 hours, I've just been answering email. That's really what I've been doing. And it's because, maybe I've been super behind on email, like I haven't answered some emails, I have answered other ones. So every couple of weeks I might be super, super backlogged and I just feel like I need to like kind of answer people or whatever. That feeling, I don't like that feeling of, being super backlogged or I haven't answered this or that. So those kinds of things are, it's interesting, like a lot of people, I forget what your tips were, but some people say that you should allot a certain amount of time for email, like 1 hour a day or something like that. And I find that it's much easier for me to like do email as I go or something, and then maybe I have a few I haven't answered at the end of the day, and then I'll do that. Rather than like when I allot like 2 hours for email or something, I don't know, I don't like that. Like it just makes me feel like, oh my God, I just spent like all this time just sitting and answering emails. That's it,
Yeah,
these are just my least favorite things in general.
Yeah. What is the least favorite part of your day? And maybe that varies too, but examples.
The thing that I like the least is if I have like a solid day of meetings, like when I spend like if I'm doing like 20 meetings or something like that in a day, and I don't like that. So I guess like one of my favorite parts is if I have like a block of time which is big enough to think and to like focus on something for a while, then I enjoy that. And if I don't have it, then I find it less enjoyable.
What tends to be the least favorite part of your day?
Oh,
Well, I think right now it is not having a lot of in-person interaction, right? Like for somebody who's even like maybe just a few miles away, right? To have to still do this on Zoom or the video conferencing tools, and they're still not great for discussing math. I think high-level ideas somehow we can kind of do this. But for being able to write equations online and then debate, I mean, kind of having that feel of that full whiteboard and, it feels more like, okay, there is boundless now space to write and debate, right? That's missing. And so the least favorite part is missing out on in-person interactions.
Yeah. And what tends to be the least favorite part?
I think really large meetings where the material presented is going a little slowly, like where it could have been sent out as something everyone could skim, and then we could have a discussion instead of going through it in detail, or things that I feel could sometimes be better.
Oh, yeah. And what is the least favorite part of your day?
Least favorite part of the day. Okay, that's interesting. So probably kind of feel a bit pressured when because kind of usually only have 1 to around 4 to 3 hours of work time during the day. And that's kind of more free of distractions. And usually that filled with kind of meetings with students and collaborations. Sometimes I feel that I wasn't be able to do stuff. For example, I haven't been able to have time to really work on, say, for example, writing a grant, that I wasn't able to do that because the time is very limited. So essentially right now, if you count the working hours, it's basically like I heard a lot of discussion about like how many work hours people have, and I was a bit embarrassed that they are talking about 80 hours, and I was like, okay, right now I probably have like 15 hours to 20 hours a week. But so that's kind of, then I'll feel anxious, like, oh, I need to get this done. I really want to say apply, or really want to prepare the lecture. So that kind of, I think, if you want to come up with an answer for a specific time, I always said that probably 4 to 5, where I have to go to look after the kids, but at the same time, I haven't finished the things I need to do. So I feel anxious.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm already grateful for you taking the time, but given this description, I'm especially grateful for you taking the time to do this. So thanks for doing that.
No problem.